What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday and welcome to the Fomo Factory. Today I would like to discuss the crypto market once again, taking a look at Bitcoin at the DXY, which is currently going up. I want to take a look at altcoins and I want to review some of your comments that you left on the channel. So if you have any questions or opinions, whatever, leave it down below and I'm going to take it into the next video. Tomorrow, I'm going to be posting a very interesting video on how to make money already with crypto and how to prepare for the next bull market. So definitely subscribe and turn on the bell notification if you haven't done that yet. So far, I would like to start with the S&P because what's really interesting right here is that stocks like the S&P has been mooning, right? The Nasdaq has been mooning, and then we now see, a small pullback right here. But nevertheless, we saw a small pullback right here as well. Here. But overall, it's still been going up. So if stocks are pumping right now and crypto doesn't give a shit about that, then I really wonder what happens to crypto whenever stocks decide to go down. Or is it that stocks were lagging and that crypto was first this time? Because, if you look at the Nasdaq, for example, it has been going up since beginning of this year, basically, right? And if you look at Bitcoin, has also been going up since beginning this year. So, nevertheless, it's doing quite the same thing. If we take it from January, then Bitcoin is up around 80% right now. If we take it from January on the Nasdaq, then it's around 44% up right now. So was crypto kind of leading this whole run right here? Could be the case, but I'm still like, okay, what would happen if the Nasdaq and the S&P decide to really have a good correction? Because this move right here, it looks quite parabolic in my eyes, and I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out. We can take a look at previous cycles where it all went down, and it again had a very big run and still went down quite hard after that. But now I'm comparing it to the 2008 crash right here. That's of course not where we are right now, but nevertheless interesting. If we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, how that's looking right now, still pretty stable right there. We were ranging for 2 years. We finally broke out, and now we're still well above this previous resistance level. We haven't tested it as support yet, so I think that the dominance could still come down a little bit, which could give altcoins a little room to breathe before the dominance goes up even higher than where it is right now. If we look at the total 3, not really moving as well for the last couple of days. It's like really flat basically, right? Every buy, every sell, it gets counter traded right away. Therefore you see these wicks right here. I'm pretty much in the camp of, okay, let's wait and see what happens with this, right? Most important for me is that we close above the bull market support band, which we are now currently in, well, slightly above, right? We want to have multiple weeks of confirmation above that. So if the total 3 stays where it is right now, you see the bull market support band coming down, right? So then we are really confirming that we are closing above. If however, altcoin market has a slight pullback, like it doesn't need to be much, then it can go down very hard again as well, because then we can get this bull market support band as a rejection right there. Last thing for this, when we look at altcoins under Bitcoin pair, still, if we see how we were sitting in this distribution phase, basically from May 2021 till beginning this year, and then got slapped down really hard, small bounce right here, and like I've drawn, we could hover around here for like maybe a year or so, right? And then we can still go to the downside. I do think that if we look at this range, it's a pretty clear range, right? This is the top of the range. This is the downside of the range, and we are now in the middle of it. And I think we are somewhere in this phase right here where we came down pretty hard, can stay there for a while, have our second leg down. That's the point where we really should look into buying altcoins. And if you really have FOMO right now already, you can of course DCA. I'm not stopping you, but I think that, it's a big difference if we go from here to here, right? And why already dollar cost halfway down, like dollar cost the bottom area is what I would say. Nevertheless, there are always altcoins that do very well. If you followed some of these calls on this channel, you probably made a lot of money. Hypercycle did a clean 6x and it stays right there. So that's beautiful to see. Now, of course, Delysium is still coming down. But if you bought a node back in the day when we discussed it, you made a passive income. You would have your initial investment back a long time ago already, and you're still making a passive income daily to get these tokens. So there's no losing with this one. And at a certain point, it will go up again, of course. And that's beautiful. Chain GPT, same story. It did like a 20-30x or so. Finally coming down as well right now. But I feel like at some point, you know, it is getting oversold and we will go back up. It doesn't mean we cannot go down first even more, right? It's now 6 cents. Can it go to 2? Of course, it's possible, but can it go back to 20? It's also possible. This chart is like really hard to measure when it comes to that, right? Because it's barely new, so you do not know which way it can go. But if it goes back up, then I do think that around that, you know, well, 17-20 cents is a decent area for Chain GPT to take a look at. For now, I really want to wait with that a little bit. Yeah, and DexJack as well, released by Cedify, did a clean, what was it, 3x. Like, it did way more. It did like a 10x give or take, and now people took their profit. So there are always projects to make profit of if you are on time with those. Soon I will set up all kind of private channels with early calls where you can get into these calls before I'm gonna make videos about it. So I think that will really give you a benefit. Now let's discuss a couple of comments that I got on the channel because I want to interact a little bit more with you guys. What's your opinion on the 5-3 all-time high theory that the Crypto Crew University made videos on? It predicted every top, predicts the next cycle top to be only 80k and make a triple top. I don't know about Crypto Crew University, but I think that the 5.3 all-time high theory is it sounds like Elliott wave theory. Sounds a little bit like that, because that's, yeah, I think that's this what you mean, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yeah, I mean, patterns are usually quite accurate, but it depends on the time frame, right? They can also be complete nonsense, but it depends on the time frame. If you look at Bitcoin, for example, yeah, you can take the monthly chart, for example, and if we pop up this picture right here, let me just, you know, save it, and let me see. Put it into my trading view. So it depends on how you look at it, of course. You can say like, okay, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and then 5 is about to come, right? On a monthly chart, that works. But I bet you that if you look on a weekly chart, then you can also find places where it works, that you can say like, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example, whatever top we make right now, and then retraces. And on the daily time frame, it will work. So it kind of depends what time frame you're looking at. And yeah, since I said like I'm more about investing and not really about trading, so I'm not really the best at this stuff, to be honest, right? I do know the best entries for me, what works, but using these certain patterns, that's not really my thing. But yeah, like I said, it depends kind of on the time frame as well. If it will go to like 80k, yeah, I'm more like about the cycles, right? So I look at the cycles for Bitcoin, and I look at this kind of stuff, right? So let me get a chart that gives you all the history here, for example. So yeah, you can put it like this. Like, I think my drawings will come back when it comes, when I do this. Oh no. If you look at this, Bitcoin here did a 17x, for example, right? If you take it from here to here, Bitcoin did 120x. If you look it from here to here, Bitcoin did a 21x, right? And now if we go from the bottom to, let's say the top is 80K, then we will do a 5x, right? It's like, I don't even see diminishing returns right here in the first place. And even if then going from, you know, the lowest point 18x to a 5x, it doesn't really make that much sense to me. Also, if I look at this chart, look, if you don't mind these lines, but this parallel channel right here, this is still intact, right? And this has been intact since 2017, basically. Went to the top, bottom, and we bounced perfectly in this bear market as well, right? If you look at this. Therefore, I feel like as long as this is intact, this plays out, right? And in that case, if we go to the top so far in every bull market, well, if we expect the top to be around end of 2025, which is here, that shows 400K, right? 80K will be a huge difference. That would be the lower side of this. That doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Like maybe we get something like this where we go to the middle. That maybe is something that could happen, but still, then we will end up at around $160,000-$170,000. And then I also look at charts like the logarithmic regression band. So this band takes it back to the complete history, right? I mean, this is what I've just showed you, goes back for 7 years. Right, 6-7 years. So of course this is pretty accurate, but this is not the full history. This is the full history. And if we take a look at this band, then, and we put it at the end of 2025, then the upper band is sitting at the end of 2025 between 300 and 450K. And also every bull market we get to that band, right? So therefore it would be, yeah, I look more at things like that, and I feel like, okay, 80K, that would be like very weird, because end of 2025 the upper band is 150K, this green. The middle lower band is 100K. And the lower band is 70K. So this would be the 80K target, right? The lower band of the green, right? Which is here. But that's where we go in bear markets. In bull markets, we go to the complete upper band. Right, so I feel like we do not have to get there completely in this bull market. We also touched the lower band. We didn't even go to the upper band, but it's far from the green, right? So I feel like let's go somewhere in the middle in that case, and that makes it around like also 150, 200, give or take. I think that 80K is a little unrealistic in my opinion. Yeah, about Sophia first video that I posted a couple of days ago. It looks bullish. Sophia Robot already has worldwide media. Sophia first, the product looks quite interesting. Yeah, and we invested quite a lot with What Do You Meme as well. So this is my project. Chart is looking like freaking bullish chart. It's absolutely crazy how well we are doing. $4 million market cap right now, and we invest in these pre-sales. We already have, at the moment of recording, an allocation of $2,600. With Sophia First, I think it's going to be close to $4,000 or $5,000. Sophia First can do really well, but it's yeah, I don't know, man. But we have a huge allocation, so if you want to get some big profits from Sophia First, you can also buy What Do You Meme and just take it. I'm going to look into What Do You Meme today. Awesome. Yeah, made this video about crypto banter, didn't age well. Why? Because since your video, the Bitcoin dominance has dropped and altcoins has pumped. Bitcoin crypto banter was right. Again, it depends on your time frame, bro. Because I have been saying like we don't get an alt season. Bitcoin is way better, and I've been saying this since here basically. And the dominance went all the way up, and now that it has this like this small red candle like we always have, like, yeah, you were wrong. Like, look at the bigger picture. It's not like up only. You cannot say like, oh, we get an alt season and then we get an alt season and we get one green pump in the middle right here, and you say, oh, you were wrong, there was no alt season. Yes, it was an alt season. Doesn't mean you have no red candles or green candles between them. So yeah. Can someone please explain for me, for CDFI, if you are in tier 6 and you get into an IDO, you would receive a maximum of about 1,000 tokens of that project for the lowest price, and these tokens price easily go up 30x compared to the pre-sale in the first weeks after release. Sounds great, but all these initial token prices seem to be very small. For example, $0.0025. So if you have 1,000 tokens that you received at the pre-sale that are only worth $2.50. So, whoa. Now, it depends. I can show you. If you go on CDFI, if you participate in CDFI lunches, I would recommend you going into their Telegram announcement channel, because there you can see the allocations that you get. So for example, this. So with what do you mean? We are now tier 7, for example, right? So tier 7, you can invest $287 for the last IDO, right? With a raise of 250K. Sophia First is going to raise 400K, so you probably get an allocation of more than $400. Plus the first come first serve, often 2 or 3x. So you get a, $1,000 allocation or something like that. It's very simple. If it does a 30x, you have $30,000. Right, and then it depends, of course, if the price stays there and all of that. But let's not make it harder than it is. Awesome. By the way, you look younger with that hairstyle. I look like fucking Jesse Pinkman, bro. Bitch. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Thanks. Take a look at protocol narrow something. I participated in their pre-sale and it's very promising. Let me take a look. Oh, Noracle. Yeah, Noracle. Yeah. This is a project. Yeah, I think I talked about this project on my other channel, or I'm not sure exactly, but it looks quite interesting to me. I'm not sure. I have to refresh my memory. I'm not completely sure if this now was a bit high risk, high reward as well, or that it wasn't. I'm not sure, but I was familiar with it, but I forgot a little bit about it, so I have to dig in it again. Let me see. Sophia Verse, I will pass on this one. I think on release it will dump hard. I don't think it's gonna dump hard on release, and even if it does, then it doesn't matter, because then these launch pads have a refund policy. So I'd rather have it dumping on release than 5 months after. Everybody talking about my hair. Fuck that, man. Let me wear that cap and move on with my life. Nah, it's like I have like this. My hairline is pulling back lately, so I figured like, fuck it, let's get rid of it. Whatever. I'm accepted. This is how ugly I am, and in real life it's much more worse. Let me see. Yeah, I love these kind of comments. If alts are going down, isn't this the best time to start DCA? It's not like anyone knows where the bottom is unless you have a time machine. It doesn't work like that exactly. Because, again, if alts are going down, isn't it the best time to DCA? Well, not really. Because what was the best time in the last cycle to start DCAing? Well, that was here. Right here, even, or here, this complete range, right? But if alts are going down, then you already started DCAing here. So what was your best entry at the end of the day when you did it here, right? And you should not make your mission to try to find the bottom. That's not what you want to do, right? You don't want to wait for this. Right? That's not doable. That's not possible. And you should never try that. But there is a clear bottom range. Right? And accumulated bottom range. You can see very clear on this chart, like here you have been, if you buy your way down, yeah, then you're throwing your money away all the single time, right? If you buy the dip and the pump and the whatever, and then your average entry is somewhere here, right? Then you have to ride the half of the bull market, maybe even more, to play even, and then you make a little profits, right? So if you buy the way down, yeah, that's not the smartest thing, right? I explained many times before, I still have the drawing right here. The cycle has 4 phases, right? You have the accumulation phase, that's where you accumulate. Then you have the upward trend, make your money, distribution phase where you take your profits, and the downward trend where you do nothing, and then it starts all over again. So if you buy your way down, yeah, then you are throwing your money away. If you wait for the distribution phase, like, hey, it made a bottom right here, and it stays right here, and it shows finally some strength right here, and it goes back down. Okay, cool, another chance. Then you can finally have a good entry, right? So you can do this, of course, but I don't see a big benefit, because you can easily get a way better entry, and yeah, there's a lot of more downsides when you already buy the way down. You might as well wait. And if you did miss out, buy the way up, right? Then you get the same average entry. That's kind of what you can do. If you buy here, 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 right? Why would you? You can also wait with that. And if it does go up, then you buy your way here, 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 right? Then you have the same entry, right? And then you at least have the, the possibility that if you wait it and it goes down even lower, then you can buy that as an entry. So there's no good reason to buy a way down. It doesn't make sense at all. You take a lot more risk for a lot less return. I'm buying these altcoins for the next crypto bull market. It depends on what projects. I made 1,000% on some projects, and I lost on other projects as well. When it comes to launch pads, you mean? Yeah, it could be. The thing is, though, that most launch pads like Seedify, they came out in the bull market, right? So, for example, now Seedify and launch pads are way more interesting than last cycle. Why is that? Well, very simple. If we look at Bitcoin, now let's look at Seedify itself, by the way, while I'm doing that. So if we look at Seedify, it was getting released in the bull market, right? So here in June 2021, that was basically when the bull market was in full glory until November, give or take, right? So you never had a good entry on Seedify, right? You never really had a good entry because Seedify never went into in a bear market, which we have right now. So now we are getting better entries, right? It just made a low a couple of weeks ago, and who knows where it is in a couple of weeks from now. But also the projects that they released, that's the thing, because you get them vested over multiple months, right? But what if you bought into a project right here, right? Here. But the bear market came. So bear market, these tokens go down, but they also have a hard vesting, so they go down even harder. But now if Seedify releases projects in the bear market, you get them very cheap, and the vesting goes on probably in the next bull market as well. Right? So now these tokens are also over the longer term way more interesting, in my opinion. At least that's my theory. It hasn't been proven yet because, again, Seedify hasn't went to a bull market or a full cycle yet. But that's kind of my theory. And therefore, I'm super excited to see how this is going to play out in the next cycle. And I bet big on launchpads. What he's saying is basically that he's been buying since the top, and most altcoins in the top 50. Most altcoins are down 90% or so. I'm, however, worried that some of the big boys won't make it back next time. And what's, in your opinion, likely to survive in the top coins that would be appreciated? I can make a separate video maybe on what coins I think will survive. But yeah, there are a couple of things. You're 60. Wow. Nice. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it there. But yeah, if you, I would suggest that if you do think like, okay, this is going to survive, then just keep on dollar costing that anyway to lower your entry. But what you basically want to take a look at is how are they still communicating, right? Is look at their Twitter, their socials. Are they still really much out there and not seem to be worried about all of it? Do they have a good runway, right? what's their income stream? What's their runway, right? Do they have the money? Like Polygon can go down very hard, but I don't see Polygon dying in this bear market. They make too much money and they have too big partnerships for that. But there are always coins that, like for example, PancakeSwap, right, the native coin of PancakeSwap, Cake. I feel like, yeah, you know, what's their use case? What do they really do? Is there a lot of competition out there? There was a website, I forgot it, so I can't mention it right now, but I will get it in one of the next videos. There you can see what coins are making what kind of revenue and collect fees. For example, Uniswap is getting collecting a lot of fees. Ethereum is collecting a lot of fees, right? So these projects, they keep on making money for themselves as well, and therefore they probably will live because, yeah, the most projects, they vanish because of a lack of income. So yeah, let me check. Come on, we only need to watch one video of your channel to see that it's obvious that you're a Pepe Maxi. Yeah, I'm sure I am. Yeah. Let me take a look. Yeah, somebody says right here, some altcoins seem to have bottomed already and some are moving sideways or barely moving at all. It looks like that, yeah, definitely. But I do want to mention that there are a couple of altcoins that are doing that. I know, for example, that Foco Forge is one of them, right? If you look at Foco Forge right here, right? If you look at this chart, right, you might say that Foco Forge is stuck in this range since May 2022, so for more than a year right now, right? And it looks like it has bottomed in that case. Like whatever happened to the market, if Foco Forge did not make a lower low right here, then what makes it do a lower low, right? On the other hand, I do also look at their Bitcoin pairs. And if I look at their Bitcoin pairs, I am obviously seeing that Foco Forge made a lower low last week, right? Made a new low last week. Lower than it has ever been. That's on its Bitcoin pair. And then I think like, okay, if it's not holding up against Bitcoin, but it is holding up against the dollar, then of course it's only holding up against the dollar because Bitcoin went up, right? And then I'm starting to think like, okay, if Bitcoin now goes down, well, Foco Forge already lost all its support against Bitcoin. So then the dollar pair will go down and will break down. So then it depends on your thoughts like, okay, is Bitcoin ever going to have any decent correction? Well, we probably all know that Bitcoin is not always up only, right? This is what it did. So complete the first half a year, this 2023, it went up. It never is up only. Right? At a certain point, Bitcoin will have a correction. And then that's the point where I think that altcoins are going to go down hard. And also, I said this many times before, but we are now in the pre-halving year, right? And every pre-halving year, Bitcoin finds its bottom, goes all the way up like we are right now. But at the end of the day, especially the last part of the year, it still goes down, right? Last halving, or last cycle basically as well, at the bear market found the bottom, went all the way up in the first half of the year till July, and in the second half of the year was slowly down, and eventually it went all the way down here, right? Now I am just waiting, right? Like, okay, we entered the last half of this year right now. Let's see how that plays out, right? And that's when I get interested in altcoins, in my opinion. What do you think about Metalware? I spoke about it a couple of times. I think it's a high risk, high reward project, but it could be really big, and it's Metalware, they're building a lot. It's super micro cap and doesn't need much to pump very hard, definitely. A lot of people commented under this video because one person wins $50 worth of BUSD, and I will pick a winner. Hello, Money Saver. Please analyze Sandbox, Decentralized, SHIB, and Doge. Very quickly then. Sandbox. Let me go to Sandbox, Sand USDT, and just US Cent USD, and also of course Cent Bitcoin, and you said Mana as well, right? Decentraland, Mana USD, and Mana. Let's start with these two. Not really giving my opinion here about what I think of the projects themselves, though, but purely looking at the price chart. Yeah, and when I look at Sand, this is really looking worse than a lot of other coins, because like we just showed with, for example, Fomo Factory on its dollar pair, it's at least ranging for a year, right? If you look at Sand, it's not ranging for a year right here. If we take it a year back, where Fomo Factory was, then that was here. And it's not like 4 times as low already. Made a new low a couple of weeks ago. So on its dollar pair, it looks very bad. Under the bull market support band right here. Sand BTC obviously looks terrible. It's crashing. I would definitely not buy Sand right now. Mana, kind of same story. It looks a little better, but overall, I think also if we look at the Bitcoin pair, more interesting price-wise, but still no kind of sign of any strength whatsoever. So I will be a little careful with that for now. Dogecoin on its dollar pair. Well, this didn't last. Dogecoin on its dollar pair, it's holding up pretty decent, I must say. Dogecoin on its Bitcoin pair could be interesting, but could crash completely, because you know, Doge is holding this complete range as support right here, right? If we take it from here to where, give or take, right? This is a strong, you know, point of support. But you must know it's also the last point of support. So if the Bitcoin dominance does go up towards 55-60%, yeah, then it's lights out for Doge. Really, because then it can easily go down towards these levels, which is another 50% down on its Bitcoin pair, not to mention what could happen if Bitcoin, of course, also goes down. And Shiba, let me remove some drawings. Shiba on its dollar pair, I don't know what happens right here with Shiba in this weekly candle, but it looks terrible. But also it seems to have some strong support at around this point right here. A lot of stuff going on. But on its Bitcoin pair, it's probably, yeah, no, it's not looking good. So Shiba is also looking like it's price exploring to the downside, basically. So I would be a little careful when it comes to that. Great content, Jeb. I get the message. Don't buy altcoins yet. How much will you hold back to buy new projects after the halving, or would you take profits and utilize them as and when? Now, what my strategy is basically, I think now 50% in cash, give or take, right? And the money that I do have in crypto is mainly in launchpads. And that's how I am investing, basically. And I will buy some new coins here and there, but like I said, not before some charts show a better entry. It's hard for me to be patient. I bought some Alchemy Pay in the graph today, just speculation. I'm waiting for the big discount as you advised before. I had popular altcoins. I'm new and learning. Did not know about launchpads. Great info. Thanks, great to hear. Yeah, and patience is hard. I mean, this is it's basically the simplest part of the market because you don't really have to do anything. And you can just let go of crypto. On the other hand, if you really want to be involved, and it's painful to watch that it's such slow and like, will it ever come? And at a certain point, you want to have that adrenaline and dopamine rush of buying stuff, right? But yeah, if you bought the graph, the Alchemy Pay or something, I don't know about that. The graph, however, wait, I have it right here. Let me take a look at that. GRT. The graph is looking a little bit better than a couple of other altcoins, but still, right, like it has room to go back down to its lows of like 56%. And the graph Bitcoin looks like it might be finding a bottom right here. Then again, yeah, it has room to go down. Well, it's not the worst coin to buy right now, to be very honest. Last one, otherwise it takes so long. Can you share your take on Star Atlas? So Star Atlas, they have two tokens, right? They have Palace and Atlas. I think Star Atlas is the one that you mean. So the graphics are sick, beautiful. It's really looks on point. If you do not know about this, then go check it out. Go check their game trailer and all of that. Don't know where to find it that quick. Really looks good. Their tokenomics are a little less good in my opinion, to be completely honest. And if I Atlas USD, is there a way to Atlas? It's the right, yeah, that's the right one. If I look at their chart, yeah, that's less interesting, right? I love the project a lot, how it looks, but it was like basically never a good time to buy, right? Unless you exactly for some reason caught this dip right here or this wick. But overall, like it's still in a big ass downtrend and it doesn't look good. It's beautiful to see, right, how good such a bull market support band works, how it's getting rejected all the time right here, got slapped back down, has a wick to the upside, crashed right into the bull market support band and came back down again. So therefore I'm seeing a lot like if you see these altcoins really struggling under the bull market support band, you should just be careful with them. So yeah, I want to wrap it up right here for now. There are many comments to go over, but I think this is it for now. Again, tomorrow's video will be really interesting and I will make a very interesting private call channel with exclusive videos for you to watch first. If I ever want to invest or talk about a new altcoin, I'll give you that info there first as well. So stay tuned to the channel and already join our Telegram, which is down below, so you can get updated about that. I'll see you soon.